news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
The 19-year-old accused of shooting and killing a recent NC State graduate will be in court this afternoon. Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Liz Ortiz.
I'm Bill Young. Right now at noon, CBS 17's Joseph Holloway live at the Wake County Courthouse ahead of this court appearance. Joseph.
Well, guys, the court clerk's office tells me that James Anderson is scheduled to be right here at the courthouse at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And this is going to be the first court appearance for the 19-year-old suspect who you see right there on your screen.
I've been trying to warn you all about these sun gliders, man. 92% of them grow up in single-parent homes. It just is what it is. They have the same issues that you guys say plague sun teens. And they have some of the same hardware pieces. And even though they have the other kind of hardware, some pieces of that hardware cannot override. It just can't, man. It is what it is. So you see a lot of this, man. I'm starting to see a lot of this, a lot more than I did 5 years ago.
And this is going to be the first court appearance for the 19-year-old suspect who you see right there on your screen. And it comes just 3 days after police tell us that Cody McLagan was shot and killed in the parking lot of a shopping center along Western Boulevard Friday night. Anderson was arrested Saturday on a felony murder complaint. Now, Cody's sister says that he was the youngest of his siblings and remembers how kind, loving, and helpful he was. And she's still just trying to make sense of all of this.
When I heard it first, I was very shocked to the point of just being numb and just very surprised. And it was just weird to hear because I just wasn't expecting that.
So she was surprised and she was shocked. It don't sound like it. I mean, I hear the words coming out of her mouth. I don't know, man. I don't know. These people, maybe something, they just deal with it differently, man. I'm used to seeing people falling out and wailing and stuff. This is, I don't know. That's just what I saw during these situations when I was throughout life. And then once I started becoming a YouTuber, it's like, we so sad. I don't know how we're ever going to recover. Man, it hurts so bad. And it's like, what? Maybe I had overlooked that my entire life and only saw what I wanted to see. Or maybe it was always like this. I don't know, man.
When I heard it first, I was very shocked to the point of just being numb and just very surprised. And it was just weird to hear because I just wasn't expecting that.
And Cody's family tells us that he just graduated from NC State University back in December with a degree in agricultural business management. Now,
a degree in agricultural business management. Man, this was going to be one of the good ones, man. Because what we usually see is they get a degree in liberal arts or a degree in African American studies, a degree in pottery making. It is what it is, man. That's why they can't compete in these other fields. They try to say it's racism why they can't compete in these other fields. The reason they underrepresented them other fields is because they don't get degrees, the necessary degrees. They go to school. Well, sun sisters more than sunmen, but the sunmen that do go to school, they get degrees in the wrong stuff, man. And then they get out and be like, man, I can't be a microbiologist, man. They won't let me be a quantum physicist. It ain't enough sun man quantum physicists. It ain't enough sun man microbiologist, man. Well, you got a degree in African American studies, man. Salute to this kid, man. He actually got a degree in something that would lead to, him being in a field that matters, that makes money. Salute to this kid. This is a tragedy, man.
And Cody's family tells us that he just graduated from NC State University back in December with a degree in agricultural business management. Now, at this point, we are still working to learn more details about Anderson's arrest. As we learn those, of course, we'll pass it along to you. For now, we are live in Raleigh. Joseph Holloway, CBS 17 News.
Just a sad story, and he was so young. Joseph.
The man accused of killing a recent North Carolina State grad made his first appearance in front of a judge today.
Yeah, James Christopher Anderson is accused of shooting Cody McLagan Friday night in the parking lot of a Raleigh Food Lion. Today, CBS 17's Brea Hollingsworth was in court when Anderson faced the judge. Brea.
Yeah, Liz Rod, right now Anderson is still in jail. He's being held without bond. James Anderson faced a judge for the first time Monday since his arrest.
Mr. Anderson, you have one charge pending against you, and I'm going to advise you of your rights. You have the charge of murder.
Anderson charged with murder for the shooting of 22-year-old Cody McLagan. Police say he was shot in the parking lot of this shopping plaza off Western Boulevard. Employees from a nearby business told police they heard gunshots near a dark car.
Something just sounded like gunshots next to a car over here. It's a black-looking Hyundai. It's a sedan.
Police say Anderson left the scene. McLagan was transported to the hospital where he later died from his injuries.
We heard 3 or 4 shots, and then the car next to it just took off, and the other car's not moving. Nobody's gone over there to really investigate.
Family friends say McLagan had just graduated from NC State University.
If that glider hadn't been there, man, that boy body would have... Somebody would have found that boy body the next day, man. Salute to the glider, man, for those if nobody's going over there to really investigate. Ain't nobody investigating. You lucky if they call the police. Most times nowadays when cops respond to these neighborhoods, these sunny neighborhoods, is because the shot spotters. If you know what a shot spotter is, I had one down the street from my house, from my apartment building, when I lived in D.C. It triangulates. It uses like radar to triangulate. They can tell exactly where the shot was, and they can tell the difference between a shot and a firecracker and a shot and a tire popping or something like that. They can tell the difference. And it can triangulate to the exact spot where the shot was let off. So they did a study and found out that most of the gunshots in the neighborhood, when the police come up, it's not even a call. It's usually the shot spotter.
We heard 3 or 4 shots, and then the car next to it just took off, and the other car's not moving. Nobody's gone over there to really investigate.
Family friends say McLagan had just graduated from NC State University in December. He had gotten a job in Virginia before he died.
He was always the one to make everybody laugh.
And if convicted, Anderson could face the death penalty. His next court date is in March. In Raleigh, Brea Hollingsworth, CBS 17 News.
Trying to find a motive in the shocking murder of a college student in upstate New York.
21-year-old Beth Howell was shot and killed on Friday while walking near SUNY Potsdam. She grew up in Putnam County, where grieving neighbors spoke with CBS 2's Tony Aiello.
Her talent was was obvious. Her promise was immense. And so too the sadness at the murder of 21-year-old Beth Howell, who grew up in this tidy home in Putnam Lake.
She played the cello. She was in the Nutcracker all the time. She never did anything bad in her life. She was such a wonderful young woman.
This was the scene Friday night near SUNY Potsdam after a man in a car drove up to Howell and shot her as she walked with another student. Police say the gunman then spent hours driving this car around St. Lawrence County on the border with Canada. This Saturday video shows the scene after a large contingent of police converged on a home in upstate Messina to arrest the suspect, 31-year-old Michael J. Snow. A law enforcement source tells CBS 2 police have not found any connection between him and the victim.
So this guy just riding around, sees this girl and her friend walking, rolls the window down, blasts her, and then keeps it pushing. And just rides around town. Okay, so 6.85% sunny, basically 7% sun. And 83.19% glider. So this is a glider town, man. Okay, so this town right here, Potsdam, New York. Wow. It's got a D- in crime. So total crime is above the 4% above the national average, which is not much, but it is. Violent crimes are 29% above the national average. I tell you guys that a lot of these glider places, and I don't know if this would be considered Appalachia, because it's a little north of Appalachia, but where these gliders live, they have crime. You know, like you guys seem to think that I think that only some people commit crime. I don't say that. I don't think that. However, when it comes to a murder, that's where the difference is. So you have these towns with a bunch of crime and, well, I wouldn't say a bunch of crime, but no murder. It's not even available. Okay? It's not even available. The stats on murder aren't even available. And listen, this goes to show you also that most of the country doesn't, like their level of crime, what's high for them would be almost shockingly low for the stand. So they don't even register enough crimes to have even, like, this second row is New York State. In the last row is the nation. And the first row is Potsdam. So they don't even register to have enough crimes to even make the stats. Population 15,567. So they've had 3 murders since 2006, but none in the last 7-8 years. No, they've had 4 murders since 2006, including this one, the one that just happened. They haven't had a murder since 2016.
Trying to find a motive in the shocking murder of a college student in upstate New York.
21-year-old Beth Howell was shot and killed on Friday while walking near SUNY Potsdam. She grew up in Putnam County, where grieving neighbors spoke with CBS 2's Tony Aiello.
Her talent was obvious. Her promise was immense. And so too the sadness at the murder of 21-year-old Beth Howell, who grew up in this tidy home in Putnam Lake.
She played the cello. She was in the Nutcracker all the time. She never did anything bad in her life. She was such a wonderful young woman.
This was the scene Friday night near SUNY Potsdam after a man in a car drove up to Howell and shot her as she walked with another student. Police say the gunman then spent hours driving this car around St. Lawrence County on the border with Canada. This Saturday video shows the scene after a large contingent of police converged on a home in upstate Messina to arrest the suspect, 31-year-old Michael J. Snow. A law enforcement source tells CBS 2 police have not found any connection between him and the victim.
How could this happen? This is crazy. Sweet little girl just going to school.
Putnam Lake is tight-knit and neighborly. Many of the residents visited the Howell family over the weekend.
You know, people kind of stick together. And so they were comforting them as best as they could.
What can you do when you lose a child? I mean, it's tragic.
Neighbors say Beth Howell dreamed of working as a music teacher and was lining up a post-graduation job in a local school district.
Well, everybody's in shock, understandably.
In shock and anxious to better understand how a gentle young woman could meet such a violent, tragic end. Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
And Beth Howell is survived by her parents and 3 siblings. SUNY Potsdam canceled classes today in order to allow students time and space to grieve.